now I'm at the stage of, I don't know if this is what I want to do. I've enjoyed the course. I've got a lot out of it. But I'm
just to warn you, it might be live any second.
Okay.
Okay, yes, we're live. Okay, right. It's a slight delay. So I'll just introduce you first, Sara. So everyone that's watching, I'm telling Sara that I'm introducing you. So for those of you just jumping on now, obviously, if you're excited for tonight, what we're going to talk about, I'm genuinely really, really excited. Like, me and Sara have known each other for a couple of years now, and I haven't had a proper conversation with her for a while. So I'm really excited. But if you're jumping on now and you're really excited for this evening, just start pressing the like button, the love heart button, because what that does is that basically shows Facebook that what's being shown is of value to other people. And what that will do is that will make sure that other people in the group start getting notified and getting aware of this tonight. So I know that some people, when they've come on to watch these, they've struggled to find them. So if you're watching, say hello, start pressing the like button, the love heart button. It will notify other people that this is going on. If you're watching this back in the future, my hair isn't like this because of any other reason apart from the barbers are still closed. So you could be watching this in April, May time. This is like the end of the pandemic. I've been waiting about 3 months now for a haircut. So I don't normally look like this, and hopefully you'll see this in the future. But if you're watching us on replay, throw me a hashtag replay in the comments. So the reason I'm really excited tonight is I'm going to be interviewing and speaking to Sara. So as I said, I've known Sara about 2 years now. The first time she started her journey was February 2019. Actually, we're just talking about this. Now, I don't know what Sara's going to talk about tonight, what she's going to say. She could say anything, as with Lorna, it could go anyway. But I do know that she's lost about 45 pounds, and I do know where she was before, I know where she is now, and I know she's got an amazing story to share. So if you are excited, if you look forward tonight, press that like button, press the love heart button. I'm going to let Sara do more talking now. And by the way, at the end of the call, you will get the opportunity to ask Sara questions if you have any questions. And that can be about any of the stuff that she's done and how she's achieved what she's achieved, or it could be how, her experiences of working with us. Right, enough of my talking. So, Sara, do you want to tell the people that are watching a little bit about yourself, kind of where you're from, anything interesting? Off you go.
Okay, well, I'm Sara. I live not too far from Adam, actually. So I started this journey, as he said, back in February 2019. And I used to go to a CrossFit gym near where I live. So I used to work out 3 times a week, feeling very wonderful about myself and just utterly fed up because I hadn't sort of lost any weight. And I'd, in fact, just before Adam joined the gym as a coach, I'd actually had a knee injury, so I wasn't going down the gym anymore. But I popped in now and then to see the head coach and just to sort of talk about my rehab and what was going on. And all the time I was utterly fed up about the fact that I just felt like I was working so hard and not losing any weight. And the head coach said, well, we've got this new guy, Adam. He's had some really great results. Why don't you come and see him? And I was like, oh God, yeah, here another nutritionist. Here's another PT, another guy telling me what to do. I know what to do. And Adam sort of laughed because he sat there straight-faced and I said to him, I know what to do. And he was like, yeah, right, okay. And anyway, so fast forward, I signed up with Adam, and in those days we were just sort of sitting in a little upstairs room. It was a bit like going to school. So Adam would have his whiteboard, he'd give us a little presentation, and we sat there with our little notebooks and wrote things down, and we saw him regularly, and it was great. And I lost 20 pounds in those first sort of few months, which just absolutely astonished me. And I kind of go back and I think, well, what was different? Because like so many people, I'd done, and I was just saying to Adam, what have I actually done? And I've done the Slimming World, the Weight Watchers. I hated them. I did them online mostly because I hated going to the actual groups. Rosemary Conley. And then I started thinking, what else did I do? I did the 5-2, paleo diets with PT trainers, eat clean, whatever that meant. I bought a lot of cookery books. I love cooking. I did a Cambridge diet, or actually it's called All About Weight, and I lost a ton of weight on that. Hypnotherapy, which actually I actually practice as a hypnotherapist partly in what I do, but it didn't work for me for weight loss. I saw another nutritionist who wanted to sell me lots of supplements and things. So I was pretty fed up when somebody said, come and see the new guy in town. And I thought I just didn't really want to do, I didn't really want to do it. And I spoke to a friend and she'd had a good result, but yeah, best thing I ever did. So, you know, what have I done in that time? Well, I've learnt, yeah, I said I thought I knew it all. I cooked, you know, I'm not one that has pizzas and takeaways and stuff like that. I cook from fresh. I used to cook my own lunches. You know, I'd go to work and people would be like, wow, look at your lunch, it's amazing, you know, and I think, yeah, great, but why can't I lose weight? So what did I learn? I learned about the value of food. I learned about the importance of exercise or not, as the case may be. I mean, I was really sort of working hard every sort of 3 or 4 times a week, but that wasn't what was important. I learned about the impact of certain foods on my body, the importance of water and sleep. And I think really the whole time with Adam has been educational. It's been learning about what really goes on with what we're eating and why we're eating things. But also, I think a bigger side of it is the mindset, and that's what you just don't get with everything else. We had a lot of chats, a lot of stuff online. You know, it was just it was quite funny. He actually became called Saint Adam at our house. I don't think I've actually told and you know, so things, you know, if we were cooking a meal, my husband would say, well, would Adam approve of that? Is that Adam proof? You know, and you know, it wasn't so much like Adam telling us what to do. I'd have this little sort of voice in my ear telling me all this sort of information. And yeah, I started to learn to recognize what I'd actually done. And I was kind of investing more in myself rather than doing stuff for other people. So so I started to sort of realize what I'd done well, what my wins were. We always talk about our wins in the group. And you know, this has a knock-on effect because then you have more confidence, you're happier, and then everyone around you is happy. So my husband's happier, my family, the kids are happier. You know, everybody is on and up because I am. So I think when you invest in yourself, you're actually doing it for other people as well. So I learned a lot about that. What else can I say about the group? I think being part of a community is great as well. You're going to come in there, Adam. I think that's the other thing. Kind of
I just wanted to say, but for anyone watching this, I didn't have a clue like what Sarah was going to say, like genuinely. So like this, I've just watched you, Sarah, and like it's incredible. Like you've just literally reeled off like, you know, kind of what you've tried before, like absolutely everything. This isn't, I just want make people to totally understand this is not scripted. Like I haven't asked Sarah to say any of this. So firstly, Sarah, that's amazing that you're able to already kind of just share all that. I just want to dig in a little bit more into kind of the stuff that you've tried before. So you said you've tried a lot of stuff in the end, like when you thought back to it. So you tried the diet clubs and you tried Cambridge diet and stuff like that. And like, what were your experiences of those other things that you had tried?
Well, most of the, you know, most of them were very short-lived. So things like Weight Watchers, Living World, Rosemary Conley, and any of those, I kind of just followed the plan because they give you a plan to follow. And I just got bored with it, or I just didn't really like being told what to eat, you know, having to eat. I just didn't really like that. That didn't sit so well. The only thing that really worked for me was the Cambridge diet, and that's obviously because I didn't eat anything for 3 months apart from shakes. And
What was that like? Because I had a conversation with someone the other day about this particular diet, and they're seeing some results at the moment. Now, from what I've gathered, because actually I've worked with a lot of women that have done this diet before, and from my experience from those women, every single one of them have regained all of the weight and more.
Yeah.
Now, like what was your experience?
Yeah, my experience of it was, I mean, it was a different company. It was practically identical to the Cambridge. It was called All About Weight, and it was identical. And doing it first time round was fine. And I used to just do it strictly Monday to Friday. Then on a weekend I'd have something to eat, and actually putting a piece of food into your mouth was just incredible. You know, like a tomato just exploded in your mouth because you hadn't eaten anything for 6 days. You know, you hadn't had any actual food. So it was a strange process, really, but you obviously you lost weight quickly. You know, that really having about 450 calories a day. Now
Wow.
for me, I was actually okay on it, but I know some people really struggled, and they, you know, they felt lightheaded and they felt unwell and stuff like that. So I did it for about 12 weeks, and I lost, and you know, you lose like a stone a month. It was just mad, absolutely crazy. But also you've lost your appetite. So afterwards, you actually don't really want to eat that much. You start introducing food very slowly. So I kept it off for a little while. And then that was when I actually injured my knee the first time round. And that kind of threw everything out the window. And then I got fed up and I wasn't as active. And then I just put on a lot of weight. And yeah, it all went back on because quite honestly, I didn't really understand what I was doing to gain the weight in the first place. So, you know, added to that, you know, one of the other things we didn't talk about was that I was heading to my menopause as well. So for me, you know, I didn't want to be fat and 40. Then I was fat and 40. Then I would sort of do something mad and try and lose weight. And I lose a bit of weight. And then I gain a bit of weight. And then, God, I don't want to be fat and 50. And then I get to 50 and it's like, oh, this is really not where I want to be. So then you kind of do something else. And then I met you. So I'm not going to be fat and 60. So yeah, it's just, it was strange. But yeah, I put the weight back on. And I think it's because you don't learn anything. You're forced to reduce your calories drastically.
I actually cannot believe that's essentially the amount of calories. Like that's scary.
There's different ways of doing it, and for me, I'm I want to get results straight away. So of course, I did the most severe way of doing it. So, other people might have 2 shakes and a meal, but no, me, I had 3 lots of meal replacement.
Wow.
Yeah, it was okay, but I did try and do it again after putting on all the weight. I thought, you know, it worked for me before, I'm going to try it again. And I just couldn't do it again. I just couldn't stomach it. My head would not do it again.
Obviously, you know me really well, and I'm not the kind of person who would tell someone what to do, but I try to question and challenge people because I want them to think about it and hopefully come to a conclusion that's actually going to benefit them. So the only reason I'm picking up on this is because I speak to this woman literally the other week, and she was telling me about it. And she's in her 50s, she's nearly 60, I believe, and she's been trying to lose weight for a long time, and she hasn't been able to. So essentially, she's not been able to change her eating habits. And she said, "Right, I'm doing the Cambridge diet because I need to get this weight off, and then afterwards, I'm going to be able to change my diet." Like from knowing what you know now, do you think that that's actually realistic or possible that someone who has struggled with their weight essentially for 30 years can go on the Cambridge diet, lose a ton of weight, and then just expect that their habits, their diet, everything can just change overnight and they can maintain that weight loss?
I think that's a really, really tough thing to do. I think it's really tough. You know, it takes a long time to learn all the different habits and things that we learn on the program that you've put together. And I think for me, I've kind of seen your program change a few times from what it was at the beginning to, I mean, I didn't mention the reason I came back into it was because I actually did a 30-day challenge. You know, I'd done my program, I got to my goal and I felt great. And then I was kind of still dipping in, and you did a 30-day challenge. And I said, oh, why not? I'll do that. It doesn't cost me anything. And you gave me a ring. I was out in Barcelona at the time. You gave me a ring. You said, you've won the challenge. What do you want? And I was like, you won the challenge. And you kind of said, you can have you offered me £100. You go, I'll have £100 or one-to-one with you. So obviously I said, well, I'll have the one-to-one with you, please. So
you must have missed me, Sarah.
I did, I missed you, but also you said that the program's changed, there's so much more in it. And I was like, yeah, right, okay. And I could not believe it. And again, that sort of drip feeding of information is it's really good. You're building habits slowly, and they then become ingrained. So, you know, people say to me now, what are you doing to lose weight or keep your weight off? And I think I'm not doing anything. I'm not doing anything specific, but I know that just even going out for a walk when I get in from work, or going out at lunchtime, or just making the choices that I make for breakfast or for lunch, they're based on the habits that are built up over the 2 years working on your program. And that you can't just suddenly do. That is that's a slow progress. And also you did take me out of my comfort zone a few times. You did pose a few questions that took me out of my comfort zone and really made me reflect and think, and just sort of just sort of really just take that time out for me, which I think we've all talked about before, that we often don't do. We just follow a program. We follow, you know, with all these companies, you just do what you're told to do, but you don't understand why, and you don't take that step back and say, why am I doing this, and what are the reasons for it? So that, I don't think you can do that overnight.
I just want you to kind of, obviously, again, I haven't prepped Sara at all. Like, obviously, you said there's a lot that you've learned, like you've learned so much, like in terms of habits and stuff. The way that it's given to you, did you find it overwhelming? Did you find it, like, how did you find it? Like, because you said, like, now you don't really think about it. Like, you've maintained your weight without any problem. Like, you're not being coached. Like, you're on your own, essentially. I know you're part of the group. Like, so for those that are watching, Zara's been with us so long. She's an honorary member, so she gets, like, you know, it's ridiculous. It's cheaper than a diet club, and she's just part of our group now. But she's maintained with ease. So, like, in terms of that, like, experience with that, because you said there's so much information, you've learned so much. Is it overwhelming? Is, you know, what's that experience like?
No, I think it can be, and I do think that the way the program has changed now, it really isn't, because, you know, certainly working one-to-one, we used to speak every week. I can't remember whether it was once or twice a week, but we had a Zoom call every week, and we actually saw each other every other week. I think that was how it worked at the beginning. So each week you're kind of adding a new dimension to what you're doing. So you start off very simple, and even just that thing about, I remember talking to you about setting goals and objectives and why I'm doing what I'm doing, and I really just sat on the fence and didn't do it. And in the end, I think we had a conversation, and you kind of said, right, we're going to do it for Friday or whatever it was. And I think it got to about the night before, and you kind of messaged me and said, so you set your goals, have you? Or something like that, because tomorrow's the deadline or something. I just needed that deadline. But it was slowly added in. So each time there's something new and something extra. So it's just like building blocks, really, which, you know, some of the coaches now talk about, Chloe especially, you know, will talk about taking each step at a time. And it's I don't know, I don't think it's overwhelming. I think it's gradual.
And what do you think it's important? Like, so you talked about being taken out of your comfort zone and being challenged a little bit. For people in this group, like, they may have felt that from me, and I genuinely hope it doesn't come across the wrong way, because I'm out here to help people. Like, I want to help as many women as possible, but I know that in order to do that, you have to change from where you're currently at, because that's not serving you. So sometimes I will challenge your thought process. So actually, if you're watching and I've questioned you, let me know in the comments and say, yes, you've done it to me, Adam. Just so I can see if there's anyone here who's been kind of challenged by me. But I want to know, do you think that's important or not? Like, do you think that that's something that has to happen?
Yeah, do you know what? I think it is important because I think the reason why we probably don't progress with a lot of these things is we don't ask those difficult questions of ourselves, and we don't address them. So yeah, having someone sort of at the end of the phone or on a Zoom call just posing those difficult questions is uncomfortable sometimes. I'm not going to say it's not uncomfortable. And I think a lot of the people in this group have, had tears and things when they chatted to their coaches, but not in a bad way. It's just a real sort of recognition of how you need to sort of spend that time on yourself, and you haven't done.
Yeah, I'd say to me, it's more moments of realization.
Yeah.
It's like, actually, yeah, like I've not been looking after myself all this time. Like,
Yeah.
and this is what I need to do.
Mm-hmm.
And just to make it very clear, like we don't work in a way where we say do this, don't do that. Like that's not what we're talking about. Like I'm not saying you have to do things that are going to hurt you or anything. It's more questioning your thoughts. Like, so next week I'm going to talk about mindset, because as Sara's already said, like, that's something that I think is absolutely huge. Like when you look at the research, like there's actually a study, the quote from the study is 90% of diets or weight loss programs or any kind of health and fitness programs, 90% don't cover the emotional and psychological aspects of weight loss. And for me, like that's a huge flaw, because for me, it's one of the biggest aspects. I don't know, like, what do you think, Sarah?
Yeah, definitely. It is. I just think it is one of the biggest things, because when you've got your mind is in the right place, and your thoughts about it, you just feel so much better about yourself, and you're just able to make the right choices. And I just, it's like the sort of the foundations of it all, really. Is what you do and what you eat and what you drink is obviously important, but your mindset, the way you're thinking, that's just like that's the base, isn't it, of the triangle, and everything else is put on top of that.
Yeah, like that's kind of my thoughts behind it anyway. And I'm like, it's nice to see you've been with us so long, and you're doing what you're doing, and you kind of get that, and that's how you feel as well. So you talked about, like, you've lost, is it 45 pounds now?
Oh, do you know, I haven't looked at it. It's about that. Well, actually, no, I did. I went onto my Fitness Pal just out of interest. I've lost 22, according to my Fitness Pal, which I don't use anymore. But when I did, so I can kind of go in there and just sort of put it from the start. So my starting weight in my Fitness Pal was in October 2016, which was when I was really at my heaviest, I think, absolutely at my heaviest. And I lost about, I think it was 7 pounds from 2016 to meeting. So it took me 2 years to lose 7 pounds. Wow. And then it took me 2 years to lose about 40 pounds. So there was a slight difference between me on my own and then with you. So so in that time I've lost 47 pounds, of which the bulk of it is with you.
That's incredible. That's awesome.
That's 22% of my body weight, which kind of like, whoa.
That's like chopping off a leg.
Yeah, I know. I'll chop my leg off. It's crazy. It's crazy. But I only really ever started having sort of feeling like I had problems with my weight in my 40s. When I was younger, I was always really, really slim, and I never had any problems with my weight at all. It was never an issue. It's just eat what I want, do what I want, and that was fine. It was only really when I got sort of into, I suppose, I mean, I look at, you know what, I always remember seeing something that said, I wish I was as fat as the first time I thought I was fat. So when I was 40, I thought I was fat, but when I look back and see myself at 40, I think, God, I looked all right, I looked pretty okay then. But that was when I really started wanting to make changes. So.
You talked about how obviously you've lost a lot of weight, like, which is incredible. Like 47 pounds, that's brilliant. Like it's not actually far off 5 stone. Like it's about 4.5 stone.
3 stone.
It's about. Sorry, yeah, is my maths wrong?
Yeah.
Yes, it is. Sorry, three. Three stone £5. Yeah,
Yeah,
so 3 stone £5.
yeah,
So that's obviously a lot of weight. But you talked about how you're happier, how you're confident, how that's impacted your
totally.
relationship, your, like, what are the main, like, put the weight to one side. Obviously, that's had an influence, but what other benefits and what other positives has the last 2 years kind of brought about for you?
Well, I think it's huge, really. I think it's one of the biggest things is how you feel. So I think I was sort of trying to say is that you think you're doing this for yourself. You are doing it for yourself, but it does have that impact outwardly to other people. So it's just things like going well, not in COVID times, but going shopping. If you go shopping with your girlfriend, and I always sort of laugh and say all my friends are skinny, but I go shopping with my friends and we'd be trying clothes on, and I used to sort of get fed up because I might take a pair of trousers in and I can't get them on, or they don't look like I expect them to look, or I'll put whatever on, and I'm miserable inside because I'm not enjoying doing what I'm doing. I'm enjoying with being with my friend, but I'm not enjoying shopping for clothes, for example. Whereas now I just love it. I can buy things, I can order things online, which I didn't want to do before, and I can just order the size that I am now, and it comes and it fits, and it's great. It's really good. Makes you feel good. So then you're happy, and that's how you are with all your friends and everything. So yeah, and I just think, just walking into work, when we came back after COVID, I'd go into work, and quite a few people said, "Oh, you're looking really good." I'm like, "Yeah, thanks, I am." But that again, that makes you feel good. So yeah, I think that then everyone's happy to be around you because you're happy. So it has that knock-on effect. Yeah, it costs a lot of money though. I've had to replace my wardrobe. And you've seen that picture. The picture
Yeah,
is the one with the trousers sticking out. I've
yeah.
only worn those trousers twice, and they were bloody expensive
So
trousers.
just out of interest, how many dress sizes have you dropped from?
I
Yeah,
was a good two. I was wearing a sort of 16. Now I'm a comfortable 12. I've
and
got a
and
few
you, and you look
tens
great.
actually. I've got a few tens in the wardrobe, tens and 12s. So what? But I was a 16.
Um, I haven't got too many more questions, so I'm going to just take a quick kind of break and just speak to people in a minute. But then those that are watching, so there are a few people watching. If you've got questions for Sara, so it can be about like anything at all, anything we've talked about, anything we haven't talked about that you're really interested in finding out. Have a think, because very quickly while you're thinking of questions for Sara, I'm going to kind of leave you to, after I've finished, to say anything else you want to say. But for those that have been watching this and say you like, maybe you're in the same position Sara was in. So she was exercising 3-4 times a week. She'd lost 7 pounds in 2 years. Like, tried Cambridge diet, lost a lot of weight, regained it all, tried a few different things, but nothing ever really stuck. If you're in a similar position and actually you've listened to this, gone, yeah, do you know what? That makes sense actually. And I think this approach will work for me, or I'm interested in maybe potentially talking to them about the program. If there's something you want to talk about, if you just comment, "I'm next." So in the comments below, just write, "I'm next." What I'll do is I'll send you a private message, and I said there's no guarantee we'll work together, but it'll just start that conversation. We can see whether it's the right fit. And because one thing I don't want to do is sign up anyone that this isn't the right fit for. And we only work with people we're confident we can help. We're sure we can get the results like we've got for Sara and Sam and Lorna and the others that you're going to see on this. So there's no pressure. If you write "I'm next," that doesn't mean that's it. You've signed up, you've signed on the dotted line. It just means we're going to start that conversation. So if you're interested in having that conversation and potentially talking about working together, just comment "I'm next," and we'll take it from there. I'll private message you, no pressure whatsoever. It might not be the right thing for you or us, but it just lets me know that you're interested in taking that next step. And now, last little bit. So I'm going to give you a few more minutes. If you've got any questions for Sara, start writing them in the comments. And I'm just going to leave Sara if she wants to add anything at all. Like if there's any last kind of comments you got at all, Sara.
I think, well, I just think if anyone is thinking about getting involved, I would say don't hesitate. Do it for you, because not only you, other people will have benefits. And I think the other thing is, if you do sign up and you're right for it, I think it's really important to engage, get involved, and to partake in what's going on, because just by signing up and paying some money over, you're not going to lose weight. You've actually got to be involved. You've actually got to turn up. You know, there's so much in the group. There are talks, there are coaches doing presentations, there's classes, there's yoga, there's workouts, there's so much there. But if you don't actually turn up, tune in, take it on board, then it's not going to work. And I think that's why Adam says, yeah, if you want to get involved, get involved. But it doesn't mean to say we're going to take you in and you become part of the family.
I think that's exactly spot on, Sara. Like when I speak about this and I say, look, we'll see if it's the right fit. Like generally speaking, we could probably help everyone achieve their goals. Like I'm quite like, because we've got obviously nutritionists, coaches, dietitians, personal trainers. I don't know what Chloe's qualifications are. She's incredible. She deals with like eating disorders, disordered eating, stuff like that. I genuinely think we have everything there to help pretty much anyone, like any female, like especially around this kind of age group. But essentially, I think the key thing for me, which you've alluded to, is you have to be kind of ready to take action. Like if you just think you're going to pay us and that's it, like we're going to do all the work for you, it can't work like that. That's not how you get into the place where Sara is and maintain your weight. Like you've got to kind of meet us in the middle. Like, would that be fair to say?
Well, absolutely, 100%. And I think that's it, is you sometimes sort of see people and that they're not there, they're not participating. And then there's a lot of banter in the group. There's a lot of chit chat. There's a lot of support. And if you don't engage in that, you're not going to get anything out of it, really.
There's no questions. I'm surprised. So
quiet tonight.
Yeah, it means you're gonna get an early night. So we'll just give a couple of minutes, because I know there is a bit of a delay. So if there is anyone that has any questions about anything at all, can be to do with weight loss, fat loss, Sara's journey, how much exercise she's done, what kind of food she eats, how much wine she drinks.
Oh no, that's not a good one.
Feel free to stick it in the comments. The only thing I'm going to say as well, Sara, before we go, I haven't worked out how to stop the live feed without disconnecting this. So when we go, I won't be able to chat to you and say goodbye on Zoom. All right, okay. So just pre-warning, I'm not being rude. I haven't figured out how to disconnect. Oh, there we go. Catherine, I don't have any questions, but I feel everything sounds very similar to me. Well, as I said, Catherine, like if this is something that you think is the right approach for you, either send me a private message, comment I'm next. I said that hasn't meant you've signed on the dotted line. It's just the start of a conversation. If you've got any questions for Sara, like I think that's it. I don't think anyone's got any questions. So I want to say from the bottom of my heart, Sara, like genuinely, I feel like I'd like to consider us friends.
Yeah, definitely.
I've known you like a couple of years now, and I genuinely really appreciate you coming on and sharing your story, sharing what you've experienced over the last couple of years. And I think you should be super proud, not just of like your weight loss and stuff like that, but like you're doing a course right now, like you're maintaining, like you're a really, really, like I love having you as part of the group. So thank you very much for coming on live tonight.
Thank you.
All right. Thanks for everyone that's turned up and watched this evening. If you do have any questions after this, feel free to private message me. Other than that, I've got a little giveaway later in the week for free. I'm not asking for anything, and I'm going to give you something for free. So keep your eye on the group this week. and I am going to be giving something away to the members of the group, and it will only be available for 24 hours. So keep your eyes open. Thanks again for everyone that's shown up. If you've enjoyed it, press the like button, press the love heart button. As I said, it will show it to more people. If you're watching on replay, make sure you engage, ask questions, and I will get back to you. Thanks again, Sara. Good night, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.